he has some unique ideas, and he has no law degree or any background in politics. So that's
Interesting
awesome.
perspective. You will see as the video plays and at the representation how unique he truly is.
It's a punny video.
That's a good way to put it, unique. You ready for the video?
Go for it.
Or we're gonna be good in like a minute?
We're working on it.
All right.
That's the first slide.
Well, you got a minute and 28 seconds, so.
Hi, I'm Bob. I am running for Iowa's open seat in the U.S. Senate. Term limits for Congress need to become the 28th Amendment to our U.S. Constitution. I believe in every aspect of our Constitution, which even a baby knows includes the Second Amendment. If you are the sexual predator and sociopath who murdered my sister Lynette, and you come to my front door to do harm to my girls, I'm going to use my Glock to blow your balls off. Liberals like Bruce Braley want to restrict our gun rights, including this magazine with 15 bullets. As Iowa's next U.S. Senator, I shall defend every piece of the U.S. Constitution, which, as Emory just taught Mr. Braley, includes the right to bear arms under the Bill of Rights. Now, please do not confuse me with Iowa's Republican candidate for U.S. Senate. Congressman Braley, you have nothing to fear, as we are friendly folks here in Iowa. Please accept my open invitation for a public debate prior to our June 3rd primary. I will leave my gun at home, Joyce can leave her knife on the farm, as long as you agree to leave your elite law degree in D.C. We'll just use our brains to debate your reckless laws and taxes like Braley Care, including common sense solutions to clean up your messes. I am Bob Quast, just a simple problem solver from Iowa, who never went to law school, but I did create and approve this video.
It's still. Why can't you
You accept volunteers, by the way, if you're
Yeah, you can volunteer to help with the campaign. I'm sure he needs the help.
He'll leave his gun at home.
You can donate money too.
Alright, now you're on the president.
Okay, well, I guess I'll just start with the claim then.
Mull over that while we get our first.
Okay, so yeah, think about that video and value your life. He has the key solutions to dysfunctional Washington, D.C., he claims. He thinks that he can do everything he needs to do in one term in office, and he wants to limit the terms to just 2 terms for being in the Senate. He approves the Second Amendment for protection reasons. He's a problem solver. He doesn't think that you need to have a complicated degree to know common sense and to solve the problems in America. And he represents the common people. He's not some super rich guy who, he's just like everyone else, and he appeals to the audience. Okay.
Working on it.
Analyzation.
Oh, geez,
He uses vivid.
it crashed.
He uses vivid imagery in his ads and straightforward ideas to appeal to the audience further.
Just do
For
it.
his plan
I'll just
against
do it for
Washington.
numbers.
He has a relaxed tone, which shows that he's like a carefree guy, he's easygoing, and makes him more relatable to the viewer. And he's going to gain more demographics that would be untouched normally because of what he believes and the person that he is, versus being someone who has a very strict campaign ad and he's just straightforward and says, this is what I believe, this is what I want, and uses it in terms that anyone can understand. It doesn't try to make it complicated.
Okay. I put together on the Prezi, if you were able to see it, just a grocery list of exactly his main points. Not that we're analyzing him as a person, but I feel like it draws into a perspective of how his reputation is. He's of course for term limits and accountability in Congress, and also Lynette's Law. So even though he's not a lawyer, he's developing a law in order to help domestic violence victims and to help prevent that from happening again. So he's got passion about it. He's rooting for common sense in Congress, which you can take it as you is, but it's the type of thing of he wants to be able to go to Congress and understand what's going on rather than just all the politics. Now for our Raven, we discussed the reputation. And as we said, he's a businessman, and we looked it up, and he does have an MBA. So he is not uneducated. We originally made it suspecting that he had no college degree and he was just winging it. In fact, he does, but I think he downplays it in order to sound like a common man. For his overall ability, he says he made the video, and he's really driven by his sister's death and his personal goals in order to achieve office. He, of course, has the inherent vested interest as running for office. He would benefit from lying to us in order to benefit himself to get into office. expertise. According to him, common sense is enough. And neutrality, he's running for office, so once again, he has inherently biased towards himself and open to lying, but I feel like he's pretty genuine in his, he doesn't come out and say crazy facts, he just comes up with his ideas.
Good, okay. I am doing the logical fallacies. He uses an appeal to pity with his sister's death, which Jake's gonna elaborate later, soon. And basically she was abused, and it really gives, and he likes to let people know that, which inspired Lynette's Law. He uses a slippery slope, which you can tell that he's for gun rights, obviously. And it kind of goes for, what he says, I believe in our U.S. Constitution. He's a supporter of it. And he's especially a supporter of the Second Amendment, and it goes from Second Amendment to having no gun restrictions whatsoever to, if you come to my door, I'm going to shoot you. So it gets a little downhill from gun rights. And he begs a question where he has little, if no, facts. He relies a lot on his own claims and philosophies. Also, he has logos, kind of. He uses very few facts, and he has a weak argument. And ethos, where he's a common man. And he makes common sense solutions, which he claims. And, he doesn't need a law degree. He can make those solutions with an MBA. He accuses politicians of being too antiquated, where he doesn't think they're doing enough for the government and that they need to get out of office. And in his debate, which he wants with the former Senate, he offers to leave his gun at home. And for pathos, he has Lynette's Law, which was his sister's death, and he's very family-oriented, and he cares a lot about his daughters. And Jake's going to talk about that.
All right, to elaborate on Lynette's Law, Lynette was his sister. Back in 1999, Lynette was abused and murdered by her husband, Tom. Now, Tom had been married for about 3 years. They had a kid, and continual abuse was going on. And Bob said that in an autobiography I read by him, that, yes, he wrote an autobiography, said that, that when he talked to Lynette, this was right before Bob was getting married, Lynette said that her husband would not let her come to the wedding. Now, he was surprised by this and talked, so he asked her what was going on. He says if I leave him right now, he's going to kill me. Of course, Bob doesn't believe this because he is a man of logic. He thinks she's overreacting. So then 2 days later, finds out his sister is now found over the border, from Ohio to Michigan, split up between 3 dumpsters, her body parts. This was a very brutal murder, obviously. And this drove Bob to create Lynette's Law, which is to stop,
It's to stop a lot of abuse in relationships, and also
to penalize crimes, averting crimes
across the border. You don't
across the border of states. This was the main driving factor for Bob actually to even get into politics. So this is both his pathos and his ethos. And this is the main driving factor for his entire campaign.
And although he has proposed Lynette's Law multiple times, his senator has not taken it seriously. Well, in my opinion, if you're murdered someone, you're probably not going to care if it's against the law to cross the border. But I understand where he's coming from, and that's his motivation to run for Senate, because he wants that law to be taken seriously, and he believes he has the right.
And that is the summation of Bob Quast. Not only the video, but his personality and his concept. And
we had pictures.
We had pictures
yeah.
with
Do you want me to
captions, but
Google them?
you don't worry about it. No, it takes a
I
little
don't know. We had
Okay,
captions
well,
that. Oh, sorry.
Our pictures have both a campaign T-shirt. They also
Pictures,
have
you
a
could
picture
Google
of
them
him
if you want.
riding a toy dinosaur. And you may wonder why. The
You
reason
can just show
behind
that
this
as you
picture
want to.
was the fact that Bob considers himself to be a dino, he's a Democrat in name only. He follows a Republican, more conservative type of standards in his life, and that's what he believes in. But due to just being a heavily Republican
He
Iowa's
defines as an
generally
independent.
Iowa is generally Republican, so he is a Democrat in name only.
Users don't look at.
So he is now on the Democratic side of the
Well,
ballot.
he's a write-in. He
Right-
wasn't,
a
he
write-in
didn't, he
for
didn't achieve
Democrats.
enough registered Democratic voters to achieve the primary.
He couldn't
So-
qualify for Republican or Democrat, so he's running as a dino. That was one of the pictures. He had a comment about Fruity, but.
Really?
Yes, that's his limo, his campaign.
Oh, there's that one
This is
too.
Bob Quast. He is posing with a Native American statue,
What-
documenting his campaigning trip throughout Iowa.
The other one's a screenshot.
What does that have to do with
You just like
any
it.
sort of an argument?
Dog.
It embodies him.
The
Was
one,
that
the
a-
one was a screenshot. The dinosaur one was a screenshot.
Oh
Right.
yeah, that's right. We can
There was,
find
and
that.
You
then
should show the video
the
though.
T-shirt was also
That's on his website.
Was that a
Sure, the T-shirt
YouTube
was-
only ad, or was that actually on, did that air on?
That
We believe
aired.
it's on actual TV.
I thought it aired.
It would have to be like a cable network, it couldn't be, public
the
airwaves,
T-shirt
Sure.
but
was a dinosaur stepping on
It's
top
not.
of a small human being that looked slightly fossilized, which was to embody Bob Quast stepping onto the old, outdated senatorial people. So,
Hashtag term limits, hashtag accountability, hashtag energy. He's for renewable
Oh,
energy.
great.
Here's the T-shirt.
That's a t-shirt. You wouldn't let us buy it.
You can spend your money any way you see fit, but
You told us
25
that we
bucks.
shouldn't. Or we
I wouldn't recommend it.
Our Prezi was really pretty, just for the record.
We had comments and pictures. Well, he's for
Can we explain
energy.
Dino?
He wants to conserve energy, but he also wants to use renewable energy to create new jobs. And he's accountable. He says that, and then, like whatever he says he's gonna do, he plans on doing it, and he's going to do it in the timeline that he was given. He's not gonna keep running, and more and more terms. He thinks he can get it done in one term, and that should be what most people should do when they go into office. You should be able to get it done in one term, what you say you're going to do. And he's reliable.
Hashtag accountable. Oh, okay,
tries
sorry.
to
I was
appeal
really
Our
focused on my
pictures had our
pictures.
hashtags, but I don't have my
Hashtag
pictures.
term limits,
Hashtag term limits.
hashtag got balls.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Hashtag win a
Hashtag
dino.
drain the
Hashtag
swamp.
win a dino.
Hashtag win a dino. Hashtag drain the swamp. You
Win a
want-
dino?
Win a dino.
This guy has a Twitter. If you're
Yeah, he has
interested
a
in
Twitter
following him.
follow him.
Oh
He only
boy.
has like 200 followers. It's kind of sad because he's running for office. But,
Um,
yeah. And-
What?
We've been trying to get in contact with him.